what I did is when I got ready to go and do the promo with the Undertaker, then that's when I remembered what Vince said, to build him up, and I just started saying 1-on-1 with the Undertaker, and that's how it all started. 1-on-1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 1-on-1. I'm your co-host, Mac Davis, along with WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long.
Hey, man, good to be back with you, and we're getting ready now to go 1-on-1, player.
I tell you what, Teddy, this has been a long time coming. We've worked hard to get to this point. We're very excited to be a part of the Sportskeeda family, and this being our first show.
Well, yeah, very excited about it, man, and I just want to give a big shout-out to them and thank them very much for watching our product and liking what they see and what they hear and wanting us to be a part of it. So thank you guys very much.
And for everybody watching, you can do us a huge favor. Simply down below, go down there and subscribe. Find that link. We don't know where it is. It's down here somewhere. But subscribe, like, share, everything that can help us get our social media even higher. We would certainly appreciate it. Teddy, I'm going to jump right into it. First of all, the name of our show is 1-on-1. And I have to, obviously 1-on-1 is very well associated with the famous Teddy Long. So tell me, when did 1-on-1 really become a part of your persona?
Well, it was one time when Vince McMahon had sent Stephanie out to make an introduction. And when Stephanie come back, Vince was kind of talking to her about he wanted a little bit more, enthusiasm on that introduction. He wants, to really build the guy up when you introduce him. So I was standing there and I was listening to that, and I didn't say anything. So what I did is when I got ready to go and do the promo with the Undertaker, then that's when I remembered what Vince said, to build him up. And I just started saying 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. And that's how it all started.
Now, so was it 1-on-1 that came first before the tag team lines?
No, I think the tag team line came first. And that was another part of me remembering about Vince saying, when you present something, build it up, make it mean something. So that's when I started, just adding a little bit of pizzazz to to the tag team match. Right now, players, we're going to have ourselves a tag team match, and so I was just, remembering what he wanted, and I just brought that out on my own. So that's how it all happened.
Now, some of the reactions, I remember some of the reactions when you would come out. That was the best part of that line to me, because normally it'd be like JBL or somebody else across from you. You're looking at him going, well, actually do the line. Can you do the line? Like, tell JBL he's going to be going 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Well, JBL, I got some good news and I got some bad news. So right now, you're going to go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Now, the reactions that they would have the second you would say that always made that line to me. Was there ever a time you were in the ring where one of those reactions even caught you and made you almost want to laugh?
Well, the only thing that made me want to laugh is some of the reactions that came from some of the guys that I put them in the matches with, especially JBL. His whole expression changed.
Yep.
And he's looking and screaming at me, no, you can't do that. You can't. So, and then I had one with Booker T and Sharmell. I put him in he was all cuddling up to me, and then I just hit him with the 1-on-1 with The Undertaker, and then he changed from the accent he had. Wait a minute, you can't do that, man. So he wasn't that English guy anymore once he found out he was going with the Undertaker.
Well, now the Undertaker is a very famous line, actually, for you, because now I've been with you to different shows, numerous shows, and the one thing everybody always wants you to do is, can you tell me to go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker? It throws me back to the Hall of Fame of Undertaker. How was it that you weren't part of that celebration?
Well, that's not my call. I don't know who made that, who's in charge of all that. I'm pretty sure at the time Laurinaitis was there,
Well, okay.
Like I said, it's not my call. I couldn't understand that either. But, like I said, that belongs to them. And I don't worry about it. If they don't want me, then they don't want me. It's just that simple.
And that is how 1-on-1 has become the name of our show. And Teddy, I don't think it could be anything else other than that would be more appropriate for our program.
Yeah, well, I appreciate those guys who are thinking about that. Yeah, I think it's super dope, man, that it's called one-on-one, because I would have been kind of afraid to use it, but as long as we're not saying the Undertaker, then I don't think we got no problem.
No, because I used it in other. I mean, look, I use that line in other places as well. You're going to go one-on-one, so try it.
Right.
Let me kind of go into some recent activity in wrestling right now. Jeff Jarrett made his AEW debut, and of course, he's now going to be going into, I believe, the Full Gear. Yeah, the Full Gear coming up. It'll be Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Darby Allin and Sting. You got two old fellas in there, older guys that are in the ring. Jeff Jarrett's pretty decent shape. Have you seen him recently, Teddy?
Yeah, I saw him recently. Maybe a couple of weeks ago. I was somewhere on a signing, and he was there, and I had a chance to see him.
Yeah, he still looks like he's pretty well in ring shape. He seemed to be doing pretty well in the Ric Flair last farewell match, or his next to the last farewell match, the next to the next last farewell match. But he was looking good at that point right there. But he's now back in AEW on a full-time basis. I believe he's probably doing more work behind the scenes. And I think his help could eventually make some of these younger guys grow up quicker. Do you think that's a possibility with Jeff in the locker room?
Well, yes, I do. I think Jeff is a phenomenal athlete, great wrestler, great ring mat technician. He knows this business very well. He grew up in it. His father was the famous Jeff Jerry Jarrett, that was the promoter in Memphis, Tennessee for a long, long time. So I think they made a good call by getting Jeff in AEW. He can help those young guys over there with not only with wrestling, but with their promos too. Because Jeff can talk, he knows this business really good. So a good move for Jeff Jarrett. Congratulations to him, man, and I wish him all the best in the world.
I worry about Sting a little bit, because Sting is he's not real young, and his last match was it was good, but it comes a time. It's almost like Ric Flair to me. Is you kind of wish that some of these guys would bow out a little bit earlier and just call it quits. I'm not saying Sting's awful in the ring, because he still draws, and that's the key. I mean, that's the key right there, draw.
Well, my thing is this here, and I tell you all the time, Mac, you got to quit worrying about this old stuff, okay? A lot of these guys, they may be old in numbers, but they're in their bodies, and they're in good physical condition, and they're in great shape. And so, like I said, I don't think you're old until you're cold. It's just that simple. But anyway, Sting, like I said, he stays in shape. He stays in the gym, he watches what he eats now. He, takes care of his health real good. And that's all you got to do, man. Just start taking care of yourself. As you reach a certain age in life, then you got to cut out some of that stuff. You got to cut out some of that drinking and all the bad food that you consumed over the years and stuff, and get your blood pressure stuff and cholesterol and all that stuff down. A lot of guys don't even take time to even take their blood pressure. They even think about it.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, man, I watched that. Devon Dudley was another one that never checked his blood pressure. And so one time they checked his blood pressure, he was at this arena, they wouldn't even let him work because his blood pressure was too high. But if he'd have checked it, he would have knew that. So I have a blood pressure machine right with me every day, right here at the house. And I check mine maybe twice a week, and I don't have to. My blood pressure is in great shape. My numbers are always low, but I stay in the gym. And like I said, I quit drinking. I hadn't had a drink of alcohol in 10 years. And so I eat good now, and I look out for myself because I know that, the numbers are coming. So you have to adjust the body to deal with those older numbers. I had an eye exam that I went to, and so I had this little spot on my eye. So I'm like wondering, where did that come from? And the guy told me, said, it comes from age. I said, okay, well, I got it then. He said, but it'll eventually go away. He said, but it comes with age. So I understand that. So what I'm saying to you, when you get older, you have to get wiser. So once you get wiser, then you'll understand how important your health is and how important it is to stay alive. And that's what I live for each and every day.
Well, Teddy, let me ask you, back in the early days of your wrestling, NWA and early WCW, was there not a physician that you had to actually come and have your blood pressure checked on a regular basis before you were allowed to perform in certain states?
Well, not in all the states. They had, when the commissioners, would be in some states like Maryland, Baltimore, there was always the commissioner there, and there was always somebody there to check your blood pressure. But like I said, when you're on a lot of those house shows and stuff, live events, there's no doctor there. And the way that I found out one time back when I was in bad shape, I was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina one night, and I was getting ready to walk out to the ring, and they took my blood pressure, brother. My blood pressure was like 200. Wow. I had no idea. I didn't feel nothing, you know what I mean? And like they always say, the blood pressure is the silent killer. But they didn't let me work that night, and they told me that I needed to, go to the doctor. And I said, I got this. I know what's wrong. And I knew exactly what was wrong. I knew that I'd been eating bad. I was drinking. I was putting everything in my body from A to Z. So I went from home. I drove back home from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, back to Atlanta. The next morning, I got up and went to the gym. I could only do about maybe 10 or 15 minutes on the treadmill. That's how I started, but I didn't stop because I'd been in shape at one point in my life when I was younger, and so I knew exactly what to do. So I just kept and continued going till I built my cardio up to an hour, and I've been doing an hour cardio for over 20 years. So you know what I mean?
Just to be straight too, he's 75. Is that correct? 75, right?
That's right.
75 years old, and I promise you, he can outdo me on the treadmill any day of the week. And most people I know he could outdo, which is incredible to me. Never make a bet with Teddy on who can stay on the treadmill longer. You'll lose. That's
what I say. That's quit worrying about them numbers. I don't care about them. I'm alive and I'm in good shape and I feel great each and every day, and I got my life right. So, brother, I'm just having a ball.
Amen. Let me ask you about Sting. While we just mentioned him a few moments ago. You have any memories of Sting? Anything you remember from back in the days? Because I know you worked around him quite a bit. At least we're in the same locker rooms with him. Anything that you can remember that stands out?
Not really. I mean, he was always a nice guy to me. We always got along and stuff. And like I said, I see him every once in a while, sometime on signings and stuff. And he always comes up and talks to me, and we'll stop and have a little conversation for 5 or 10 minutes, and that's about it. So he was just always a nice guy. I have nothing bad to say about Sting.
Nobody does. I mean, anybody you talk to, nobody has a bad thing to say about Sting. He just seems like he must have been a really good guy in the back and stayed out of all the drama.
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah. He kept a low profile. So if he did anything, you didn't know it.
Talking about drama, let me bring this up. Road Dogg Brian James had made some comments recently about Bret Hart. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't.
Let me tell you what happened. Road Dogg basically said that Road Dogg, was a better sports entertainer than Bret Hart. And to quote him, he said, "I don't think Bret Hart is a great wrestler. I think I was a better sports entertainer than Bret was, and that is where the money is."
Well, I'll have to say this. Road Dogg is a superb entertainer.
Yep.
He has that gift that I'd say about all the time. Some guys are able to be great wrestlers and great entertainers. And that's what Road Dogg was. He was a great wrestler and a great entertainer. He was good on the mic, so he could talk, didn't need a manager, none of that. So I'm just saying, that's his opinion about whether he thinks he's a better wrestler than entertainer than Bret Hart. Bret, to me, phenomenal athlete. Where Bret come from.
Oh, yeah.
From father Stu Hart. He come out of that dungeon up there in Canada, man. So if you went there, if you didn't get it right there, then you would never get it at all. So, I mean, everybody has their own opinion. If that's how Road Dogg feels he's a better wrestler than Bret Hart, then that's fine. You know what I mean? But,
I don't know that he said he's a better wrestler. I think he was just trying to point. He didn't think that Bret was that great of a wrestler, and that he also thought that he was a better sports entertainer than Bret was.
Okay.
And I agree with that. If you want to know the truth of the matter, like you say, everybody has a difference of opinion. Bret was one of those wrestlers. He was a great wrestler. Technical wise, great wrestler, but he bored me for some reason as I was growing up. He was never a character that I liked. As far as wanting to go buy a ticket to see what happens with him, I was never invested in him in that way. But he was a great wrestler. I'm not going to take that away, But I agree. Sports entertainer, he wasn't great on the mic. He couldn't handle a promo that well. And Road Dogg's right. I think he was probably a better sports entertainer than Bret. He was not, though, a better wrestler than Bret. And I think that's what he was trying to say.
Okay, well, if that's my bad. I mean, I didn't mean if.
Well, no. A lot of people took it that way when he said it.
Right.
He had to go back and clear it up and say, no, I'm not saying I was a better wrestler, because I think he's smart enough to realize, no, that's not it.
Right. Well, like I said, everybody has their own opinion. Just like you said that Bret, that he bored you, when he came out. Well, I looked at it a different way. He didn't bore me because I think with his promos, his promos didn't last that long. I tell you what did happen one time. I think it was me and him, Randy Orton, I believe. We were in the ring doing this promo, and I remember I think Brett forgot his lines, but I caught it and I picked it right up. And I remember Jerry Lawler coming to me at the end. He said, "You saved that promo. Said you picked it right up." And I said, "Oh yeah, and I didn't think no more about that because one time I forgot my lines in the ring. So that happens. Like Vince always says, if it happened live, it was meant to be. So but like I said, everybody has their own opinion, and that's all I can say.
Road Dogg during the Attitude Era, I would imagine he was part of that clique that kind of controlled things back then. Was he always just a character in the back like he was in the ring? I mean, what you see in the ring, is that who Brian really is?
That's who Brian really is, man. He was an entertainer back behind the scenes just as much as he was out in front. So he kept us all laughing. He always had jokes and and stuff, and he was always smiling. I never seen him mad at all. I mean, one time I think he's an agent then, and I think he had some guys match, and they kind of screwed that up. And I don't think he was really mad, but he was really getting, letting them laying the law down, telling them exactly what they did wrong and what they didn't, what they should have done. So yeah, he was always entertaining, man. He's a funny guy. He's funny right now. If you walk up to him and start something, he'll start some funny stuff. He'll make you laugh.
Well, we saw him about a month ago, I guess it was.
Yeah,
that was the first time I've ever seen him get angry. And he got angry for the right reason, too. Let's talk about that. Road Dogg was doing color commentary for a show that Teddy and I were doing. And some talent had gotten in the ring and decided to grab the mic and start jaw-jacking with Road Dogg, trying to bring him to the ring. Now, none of this was prearranged. It was not planned whatsoever. And it did not go over well with Brian James. I mean, he was furious.
Well, I don't blame him.
I don't either.
I don't blame him. You got a couple of indie guys, you understand, that need to be listening, trying to learn how to work and learn how to do promos. And they just went out there and did something on their own. Nobody told them to do that. Nobody told them to call. And so when you do stuff like that, you're gonna get your ass ringed out. And so that's what Brian did to him. He straightened him out. Hey, I'm a grown man. Don't play with the business like that. That's totally disrespect.
Yeah, I think that may be on the IWN network. You can check it out if it's up there. I can't remember if it is or not. But Brian moved faster than I saw him move all day, because when he got pissed, he hopped up out of that seat and he couldn't find a chair he was looking for, and he just brought a hard 4-legged chair with him and was going to beat the ever-living hell out of those boys for doing what they were doing. And they thought it was all fun and games. It looked great to the fans and everybody else, but it was not a fun night at the office for those two boys when they got in the back.
Well, they just, a lot of times guys just don't know no better. And like I said, instead of them asking somebody before they do it, they didn't even know how to do that. Because on the indies, you don't learn that. You don't learn to ask somebody what you're going to do. You just walk out there and do it or make up stuff on your own. And so I think that's what they did. They just went out there and just made up a bunch of stuff and had no idea, what it was going to lead to. So to get them straightened out, like I said, I hope they learned something from that. I hope they don't do that again.
Now, I hope they don't either, because I know a couple of the guys that are in that group, and they're actually good kids. It's just, I think they made a really bad decision.
They don't know. And there's nobody there talking to them or helping them. And you see, you've been with me on shows, and I go to the young talent, and if I see something wrong, I wait right, and I go right to them and let them know. You know what I mean? A lot of them appreciate it. A lot of them don't. So, somebody will learn something and somebody won't. So I don't worry about that. If I can help you, I'll try and help.
I watched that happen with D'Lo Brown at a show one time where he was available and guys were afraid to go up and talk to him. And those who did go up and talk to him didn't take his advice. And it just blows my mind. It's like, guys, you had D'Lo Brown in here. He listen to what he's telling you. Just stop talking and listen.
They don't think we know anything.
No. Here's another news story I want to bring up. Nick Aldis and the NWA have parted ways, or are in the process of parting ways. And Nick Aldis was on a show recently with Sam Roberts on the, I believe this show may have been on the Sirius XM network, if I'm not mistaken. But Nick made a comment that basically says that he was going to be leaving the NWA. But he didn't tell anybody in the NWA this before he made the announcement on social media. Then afterwards, after all kind of got blown out of proportion, according to Nick, things went real south, and Billy Corgan basically is pissed off, and Nick is pissed off. Nick saying that the NWA now doesn't pass the Harley race test that he first was trying to bring back to the NWA. Have you had a chance to see much of the NWA product?
No, I haven't. I didn't even know they were on TV anywhere.
Well, I'm not even sure if it's YouTube or something else. Maybe I'm not even sure that they're on TV. Not a real TV channel right now, but yeah. They did have a comeback. And here's the shame of it all to me: when the NWA made its comeback in the last few years, it was when Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes started building up the 10 Pounds of Gold series, which was a fantastic series. By the way, Teddy, if you have not seen that, watch the 10 Pounds of Gold from the NWA. It's one of the best things I've seen in wrestling in the last 10 years. But Cody and Nick built up this angle that looked incredibly real. The realism and the old school throwback and the way their promos were done, the match was done, was absolutely incredible. It was the one single feud that brought me back to watching wrestling on a regular basis because of those two guys. It was just incredibly done. So here you got a guy who built the NWA back up to a name again, no longer sitting down the gutter. And something happens. They start going a different direction. Creative seems to get in the way, and these two guys split, and you're left with the NWA basically no longer having a real talent holding their belt. I don't want to say that. Tyrus currently won the belt just last weekend, but Nick was carrying that belt all over the country. He was making it look like a legit, true 10 Pounds of Gold. And I hate to see him go. I really do.
Well, I mean, good luck, for Nick, great guy. I had a chance to work with him out in Texas. He came out and did some stuff for TSW. Yeah. And a tremendously nice guy. I gave him his finish and told him what, we wanted out of him. Had no problem, no attitude or nothing. And that's the kind of people you want to work with. So good luck with Nick. If he sees his future is better to go somewhere else or to get out of the NWA, then, he may know something that you and I may not know.
Very true.
But like I said, a lot of promoters are like that. How can you let a guy like Nick Aldis, Cody Rhodes, if you got them, how can you let them go? And I just don't understand this business sometimes. Look like the people that come in that want to do the right thing and help you, you want to shit on them, and treat them, bad. And this business is really crazy, man. So, like I said, good. We know Cody's doing great. So Nick's gonna do great. He's a great worker, man. Great guy on the mic. So Nick shouldn't have any problem trying to find a job.
Well, let me bring up some fantasy booking here. Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes have fought twice. They both won once. Cody is out right now of the WWE with an injury, but due back sometime late this year, early next year, at the same time that I believe Nick Aldis's contract actually comes to an end. Can you imagine Cody coming back, winning the belt from Roman Reigns? Then Nick Aldis makes an appearance as soon as Cody takes that belt. The next night, here's Nick Aldis, and they're coming in for that third rubber match that we've been waiting for that belt.
Well, that's money right there. If it was me, I think I'd kind of do it the other way around. I'd have Nick come in first and him take the belt from Roman Reigns. I'd do it that way. And then now you got, maybe he's out there celebrating, you know what I mean? And out of the blue, here comes Cody. Yep. Yeah, and he's been gone, so he's going to certainly get a great pop there because people have missed him and they want to see him. And a lot of people that are in that audience would be in that audience, I'm pretty sure, are familiar with the feud that he had with Nick in NWA. So I think that would be a great combination there. Hopefully that might happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping, and again, that's fantasy booking, but it's always fun to look at what the possibilities could be. And I think that WWE is trying to find a way. I think they're still hoping that Rock and Roman may face each other. I don't know that that's going to happen. It is in Los Angeles, so that would make sense, that's a possibility. But if not, somewhere, somehow, I believe Triple H has got to be going, I want Cody and Nick on WWE facing each other for that belt, for that third match that everybody's been waiting for. So, and I remember Cody telling me, I asked him, I said, what happened with the rubber match? Why isn't he in AEW? And he looked at me and goes, well, the politics of it all. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. What a shame.
Well, he told you right.
Yep. There's other places that they keep saying that he could end up going. They're bringing up other places like Impact, which is, I hope not. Also, AEW. I don't know how well he would fit in there at AEW with their style. And I still think that WWE would probably be the best option for him. CM Punk and AEW fallout. You ready for this one? And we're about to run out of time, too, I believe. Teddy, how much time we got here, guys? We still got a few minutes. CM Punk and AEW fallout. The rumors are now that Punk may be going to WWE as well. Now, that's a rumor, but do you see that possible with Triple H now running the company?
Well, anything's possible in this business. You know what I mean? I've learned that you never say never, and you never say that you're not going to see somebody. Once they're gone, you never say that they'll never come back or you'll never see them again.
Yeah.
So that's not true. So if Hunter is smart, he knows this business. He growed right up. He stayed there with Vince for many, many years. So I know he will learn tremendously a lot of stuff from his father-in-law. So I think Triple H understands about the money, and if CM Punk can draw money, then I'm sure Hunter will bring him back.
If you were CM Punk, would you go back to WWE? Could you trust him?
Well,
that's coming from his perspective, of course, because you know how he is.
Well, I understand how he is, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that he will sit down and him and Hunter will have a great come to Jesus meeting. And if Punk does decide to sign with WWE, when he goes out there, you better believe that he's already got it in writing and he's made it clear what he will do and what he won't do. So I don't think it's a thing of whether you can trust them or not. I think it's just, making sure, they do the right thing and make them put it in writing.
You were with CM Punk quite a bit. I think you've told me before, y'all trained together at times. What's the real feel like? Or CM Punk, he comes across like he's actually a nice guy. So at times when you see him kind of blow up at these things, you're like, wow, where'd that come from? Because that's not the guy I know. But he seems like a really cool guy.
Well, he is a cool guy, real nice guy. Like I said, I trained with him before, did cardio and stuff with him, and me and him always talked and, had a great conversation. In fact, I still talk to him right now. After he had to blow up this past thing he did in AEW.
Yeah.
I had a chance to talk to him right after that, you know what I mean? So CM Punk is just a guy like this, if it's wrong, it's wrong. And he going to let you know it's wrong. A lot of guys, like I said before, CM Punk is one of the guys that will speak up and not worry about losing his job or not. But a lot of guys won't speak up because they know they may get fired or they know somewhere down the line they're going to get buried on TV or whatever. But you got to put that stuff behind you. If you want to bury me on TV and do whatever you want to do to me just because I'm going to tell the truth, then so be it. So that's how CM Punk was. He just, like it is, that name Straight Edge, he's a straight up guy.
He looked frustrated. That's what it looked like. It looked to me like he came out of that, came into the media scrum after that match at All Out. And it looked like he was just extremely frustrated. Like he'd been putting up with a lot of crap and it just blew up. It just happened to be the place where all that happened. And I've been there, so I understand that. I know how that can be. You get fed up, you get fed up.
Yeah, well, like I said, in this business, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, all you see is the TV side. So you just never know what led to that.
Teddy, again, this is our very first show. We're out of time now. This is one-on-one. I'm Mac Davis. He's Teddy Long. And Teddy, anything coming up that you want to push real quick?
Only thing, November 28th, be at WrestleCade there in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for what is it?
WrestleCade.
WrestleCade, okay. I keep thinking about the Fan Fest, okay? But WrestleCade, the big show that they do every year up there. Tim Woody, he's the guy. And so I'll be up there along with Bruno Lawler, Downtown Bruno, and I forget who else I'm going to be. Somebody else is up there with me too. I can't remember.
I can't remember right now. I want to say it's a
Candice
lady.
Michelle. I believe it's Candice Michelle. Yeah, so she'll be there along with me. So we'll be at WrestleCade November 28th.
Also, you can catch our other show that we do called Road Trip After Hours, 30-minute time limit. That's on YouTube and about every podcast channel you can think of. And Teddy, that's quite a wild show itself, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is, man. And let me tell you, let everybody know. Thanks, Mac Davis. We give Mac all the glory and all the credit because he created all this. He started all this, and I'm just happy he just letting me tag along with it.
Look, this whole thing was all built and designed with Teddy in mind. So don't let him fool you. Teddy, I've had a blast, man. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the show. Again, we ask that you go down below, like, share, subscribe, all the other good stuff. Rinse, shampoo, repeat. You know how it works. I'm Mac Davis. Go ahead.
And if they don't watch this show, then they better be on the lookout because they'll go one-on-one with either Mac Davis or Teddy Long.
Holla!